Welcome back to my channel, The Feminine Philocalist. Today I'm going to share with you some inexpensive ways to make some transitional arrangements going into fall. So let's start out with the vessel. So I found these beautiful amber, there's a dark and a light right here, glass vessels over at Hobby Lobby. I got them for 40% off because they're in the fall, and they ended up being around $6 and like $3 each, which is amazing because I saw this exact same thing over at Target for $19.99. Okay, and I almost bought it, and then I went over to Hobby Lobby and found this one. So this is perfect. They have greens as well and some frosted ones. So it's something to keep in mind, and these will work well going into fall. Also, I have this vessel here, which is a beautiful ginger jar. And then I have some others I'll show you in a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll start with this, since it's already done. Now I have this amazing ginger jar right here, which I got at 37 Pine. Anyway, it's pretty, it's elegant, it's blue and white, which I love, but I'm gonna add a pop of color. And to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and take these stems. These are from Hobby Lobby. Believe it or not, they are $2.95, or no, $2.35, okay? I did the same thing, an arrangement with big giant sunflowers from my parents' house, but they were shedding pollen everywhere. So I opted for an artificial one. These look great. They look better than the big stems. They're over in the small stem section, and they're so inexpensive. So I have a total of 6 here. So this is about $15. I rubber band them together, and then you're gonna pop them into any kind of vessel that has a smaller mouth. I put some plastic baggies in the bottom just to give it a little bit of height because the stems are a bit small. And then voila, very natural looking. We have a arrangement of sunflowers. Okay, very simple, very elegant, beautiful for $15, depending on what vessel you have, or if you want to get some other ones. There are some stone ones there too. Wait till they go 40% off, and they'll run you about $10. Okay, from anywhere from 18 to 20. So first one, beautiful sunflowers, sunflower season here. Now I'm going to use these amber vessels. This, like I said, it was about $6, and everything else I got from the roadside. So I'm going to show you what to do with that. I went on a walk earlier today, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pick this up and show them how they can bring nature into the home and make your home lovely. So we're going to start out with cedar. Cedar is fantastic because it's going to stay green for months. So you can even transition this into fall and add leaves later. So I went ahead, you ought to see me out there foraging on my walk. I've got my clippers with me, and I just, I start snipping away, building up a pile. So I'm going to have one here. These are going to be my anchor pieces. And then I've got a smaller. And I usually will start out with some big pieces that make kind of a, we don't want it to look like 2 bunny ears. So you want one to be a little bit smaller than the other and lower. So I have 4 pieces of cedar. Like I said, didn't spend anything, had a lot of fun gathering them. So there you go. 5 pieces total. Perfect. Okay, I found these beautiful yellow wildflowers as well, which, since it's still August, we're going to go ahead and add these in. A little pop of color. So pretty. Love, love, love. So don't forget the back. Remember, you want it to look good from every single angle, but you want it to look very, very gathered, very natural, not tight. I think the biggest problem with a lot of arrangements is they're too tight and they're too compact, and they lack this really wild element, which you don't want to lose. Ooh, I broke that one. Good heavens. Okay, and then I grabbed some deep purple salvia. This is from my front yard. So I ravaged the bushes out there and came away with a few pieces because I really like that pop and that kind of that coney shape that they have. A little droopy because I left them out of water for a little while. So they'll perk up in a bit. you want to add it evenly throughout your arrangement. Okay. So we need a little bit of purple over here. Now, really nice about these vessels is they have a smaller mouth, which is really important because the bigger the mouth is, the more you're going to need to fill it. So you don't need quite as many pieces if the mouth is a little bit smaller. So it's something to keep in mind when you're shopping. You might find this amazing vase, but it's got a super big mouth and it takes so much to fill it. So anyway, here we go. Voila. You have a beautiful, natural looking arrangement. You can just pull out the flowers, leave in the cedar, and then add in some fall leaves. Okay, I found these too, which I'll show you. I'll add these in a moment. These were at Hobby Lobby. They're preserved. They're a deep, pretty red. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This is a deep red weeping eucalyptus, okay? And it's been beautifully naturally, it looks very natural. It has been dyed a little bit, but this ran for, I got this bunch, it was normally $19.99, but it's in the fall section, which all the fall is 40% off, so I got it for around $12. Okay, so I'll probably add these in a little bit, in a couple of months to the cedar as well. Okay, moving right along. So this is a little budget find of a total of $6. Okay, so here's another amber vessel here, which I'm going to add in just a few pieces. Once again, collected wildflowers out of my yard, but actually our backyard. Just you don't need a lot. You can just keep it simple. And sometimes the simplicity is so beautiful. God knew what he was doing. I love flowers so much, so I like to use them as much as I can around my house. And the more natural ones you get, the better. So here we go as well. Okay, next. I'm going to show you this lovely lady. This is Calliope. Right here. She is my class mascot, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her to school where I teach because she is our muse. She is the muse of poetry and literature and music in the Greek mythology. So I went ahead and I just put some dried rice in the bottom of her. I got her, and she's, you know, as you can see, she's kind of a vase. So I put some dried rice. You can do some beans also, and then I got these natural pieces of eucalyptus over at Hobby Lobby. I just popped them in. I have some pussy willow, some little yellow dried flowers, a little bit of cedar, things like that are dried nicely. And then I just kind of did an arrangement of greens with some different textures and added in at different angles to make it look kind of wild. So this is another thing. This is a budget find of about probably, I ended up spending on the floral probably around $30 because all of this is preserved so that it doesn't need any water because I put it into dried rice inside the head. That really helps if you don't want to use foam. You can pull in and out, just put rice or beans in the bottom. So Calliope is ready to start the school year with me and my class. I have a lot of fun with her. I can add in other leaves and holly and stuff like that in the winter and pine. So I think she's a lot of fun. Okay, lastly, I have this big vase, which I really encourage you, if you like florals a lot, to invest in a really heavy vase. So this is very thick. What is nice about it is you add water in and it can carry some really big, heavy branches. Right now, I found these on the side of the road. They're just these little dark pine cones. I thought they looked lovely. And then I added in some cedar and water to the bottom. I wanted to keep this one very, very simple. If you have very contemporary taste, this might be an idea for you, or you just want to keep it simple. You want a little bit of green and a little bit of texture. So that's the way to do it. Forage your roadsides. If you have property, forage around. It's amazing what you can do. So you could get some really big, heavy branches if you have a very thick vase, because it's going to keep the weight and it's not going to topple over. Also, make sure it's got good sealing. It's well sealed. I did get a vase a few years ago that wasn't made to contain water, and it was amazing. I was so happy with it. It looked beautiful on my coffee table, and the next morning it had kind of released moisture and water all over my table because it wasn't meant to hold water. So make sure that it is if you're going to put water in it. So here you go, just very wild, beautiful ideas to bring in some transitional pieces into your house before we get into full-blown fall, which I will add that on to another video. We will move on and do some fall arrangements, but these are just kind of transitional. You could add lavender in as well. That would be really pretty for this time of the year for August. Anyway, thanks for coming, and I will see you on a next video. Bye.